It's raining tacos.
What? Where am I?
Hey!
The Hog Rider card is unlocked from the Spell Valley, Arena 5. He is a quick building targeting, melee troop with moderately high hit points and damage. He appears just like his Clash of Clans counterpart. A man with brown eyebrows, a beard, a mohawk, and a golden body piercing in his left ear who is riding a hog. A Hog Rider card costs 4 elixir to deploy. Strategy General: when he is jumping over the river, he cannot be targeted by any ground attacking units. The Log and Earthquake will fail to damage a Hog Rider while he is jumping. Air troops can still attack him though, and the Inferno Tower and Inferno Dragon will continue to ramp up their damage. When countering Hog Riders, obviously use buildings. But be wary, as the offender would usually play around it with cards such as Earthquake. Air swarms such as Minion Horde can help due to the Hog's usual support tools not countering them. On the offender's side, a powerful move is to accompany him with an Earthquake, obliterating almost every building, and also grounded swarms. To a lesser extent, lightning could also be used, retaining the same point of almost destroying every building while also crippling troops such as the Wizard or the Hunter. The Log could also be an effective first play as a cycle, but it only kills swarms and sometimes a non-center placed tombstone. The Hog Rider can be paired with the Lumberjack as both a swarm bait and damage combo. It is a very fast combo with an extremely high damage output potential, so the defender will likely try to counter it with a swarm. If this happens, the offender should use a spell like arrows to render the defender poetically defenseless. If they manage to defeat the Lumberjack, the dropped rage will make the Hog Rider even more dangerous than it normally is. A fast and deadly combination is the Hog Rider and Mini PKK-8 combo. Both units are fast, but the Mini PKK-8 does much more damage and does not attack only buildings, so the Mini PKK-8 can deal with troops like the Executioner and Musketeer. However, this combo can be defeated with swarms like Skeleton Army, which will defeat both of them since neither of them can deal area damage. They are also unable to target air troops, so the Minion Horde can stop this easily. A Hog Rider combined with a Goblin Barrel can be awkward for the opponent to defend against. Timing it so that the Hog Rider is tanking the tower shots for the Goblins is the most effective way to deal damage. A Barbarian Barrel can shut this down with minimal tower damage for a positive elixir trade, as long as the Goblin Barrel was placed directly on the tower. Use another card to counter the Hog Rider if it is necessary. With his fast move speed can boost forward mini tanks like an Ice Golem in a push. At the same time, he can also function as a tank for lower hit point troops such as Goblins, as he still has a fair amount of health. However, the Hog Rider struggles with swarms, as they can damage him down and defeat him quickly while obstructing his path. Barbarians in particular can fully counter him without very strict timing on the defender's part, though they are vulnerable to spells. Use this to your advantage by placing a bulky swarm dealer in front of the Hog Rider, e.g. Ice Golem, Valkyrie, so that the Hog Rider can transport it to the tower faster and also get protection from swarms. Most cheap swarms complement the Hog Rider well, as they are nearly as fast as him and usually force more than one card out of the opponent's hand. The Hog Rider in conjunction with the freeze can surprise the opponent and allow the Hog Rider to deal much more damage than anticipated, especially if the opponent's go-to counter is a swarm, or swarms are their only effective counter to him. Skeletons and bats will immediately be defeated by the spell, while spear goblins, and minions will be at low enough health to be defeated by a follow-up small spell. Against non-swarm troops, it can deal a lot of damage during the freeze time, but this can allow the opponent to set up a massive counter push. For this reason, players should either only go for a Hog Rider plus freeze when they have other units backing it up from a counter attack, or if the match is about to end and they need to deal as much damage as possible. The exception to this is an elixir collector placed in front of the King's Tower. If a hog rider placed at the bridge, he can destroy the collector for a positive elixir trade, though the damage from both princess towers will usually mean he does not survive to deal any damage to them. However, if the opponent sends in defending troops, it can be an opportunity to gain spell damage value. It is obviously not a good idea to send in a hog rider simply to destroy a building, especially if it is the only building targeting unit available, as defeating crown towers becomes substantially more difficult. Spells or simply waiting out the lifetime of the building are more effective. When there are buildings placed in the middle to counter the hog rider, understanding the placement of the hog rider and the type of building placed can help the hog rider to bypass certain buildings. Passive buildings such as spawners have a larger hitbox than defensive buildings, which means that if a passive building was placed 3 tiles away from the river in the middle of the opponent's side, then it is impossible for the hog rider to bypass that placement, as the hog rider will get pulled to that building. The hog rider can kite very fast non-building targeting troops due to his own very fast speed, and building only targeting if he is placed on the 4th tile from the bridge, slightly into the opposite lane. He can also stall grounded units when placed right at the bridge. He will pull them towards him while deploying, and then be untargetable by them when he jumps over the bridge. After landing, he will pull them back. This can be useful when the player needs to deal damage in the same lane they are defending. It will also help separate troops behind a tank in a large push. A very powerful combo is the hog rider, the musketeer, and the Valkyrie, typically referred to as the trifecta. The musketeer will defend against most troops, while the Valkyrie can protect her and the hog rider from swarms or high damage units. The hog rider is used to deal damage to the tower. However, this is for a whopping 12 elixir. This can be effectively countered by lightning, one-shotting the musketeer and severely damaging both the Valkyrie and hog rider. The minion horde is also effective, but the enemy can zap them and the musketeer will one-shot them all.
Ouch!